If you like me, then you love Ryan Garcia from that devastating left hook, that generational left hook that got the speed and power that like we've never seen before. He probably has one of the best left hooks that we've seen in boxing in the last few generations. That's what made Ryan Garcia special. That's what made me, make him one of my favorite boxers growing up. His hand speed, his confidence, his swag, everything about Ryan Garcia is what I loved early in his career. Lately, we got to talk about what's been going on with bro, because he went from this to getting knocked out by Roley Romero, and I ain't going to lie, that was tough. And we got to talk about them alleged PED use, because if that's what he did to beat Devin Haney, I can't respect that, bro. Again, this is allegedly, but we going to talk about it. Say no more.
This shit slap, my nigga, you know I'm going dumb. You staring hard, little mama, like where I know you from. The kid basic and I ain't gotta say shit. I'm out of this world like a motherfucking spaceship. If you knew better, you would put me on your playlist. If you knew better, you know I ain't one to play with. Most these niggas just capping, I be really rapping. I gotta watch out for the boys, I be really trapping. And I keep a joint rolled cause I'm really smoking. Fuck around and get sick from.
Welcome back to Say No More Media. Don't forget to click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell right there. Say no more. We gonna talk about the rematch. They have already alluded to, as you see to this picture in the right, they are giving the public what we know the public wants. We want the rematch. We want the rematch because Ryan Garcia is just coming off a 1-year suspension because he did pop for PEDs. This is, I'm going to say allegedly, but he just got done finishing serving a 1-year suspension for the PED use against Devin Haney. How that came about or what happened with that, that's still up in the air. But they found substances in his system that, the boxing governing board decided to suspend him for, a year. And Devin Haney got that win back taken off of his record, so he's still undisputed. But with that being said, Ryan Garcia is an elite fighter, and he has an elite, devastating left hook, and he's one of my favorite fighters ever. I'm just talking about the rematch that's supposed to happen. This is the rematch that we all want to see because we're going to clear the air. We're going to do Olympic-style testing. I want to see Devin Haney. I want to see Ryan Garcia because I truly believe that there was a lot of flaws that Devin Haney had, especially by guarding that left hook. He kept dropping that guard hand. So PEDs are not allegedly. Ryan Garcia still put hands on Devin Haney. I don't care what you want to say about that. At that point, that was a whooping. But shout out to Devin Haney because he kept getting up because he was getting hit with some vicious left hooks. And I mean, from the beginning of the first round, Ryan Garcia was clowning, bro. And you could tell this is personal. They have been fighting each other like 6 times already in the amateur. It was a split 3-3. It was a lot of animosity between the Garcia and the Haney family with all the leading up to this. Ryan Garcia was acting strange, drinking beers, coming in overweight for the weigh-ins. He was having them outbursts. Everybody was saying, hey, what's going on with bro? Is he good? You know what I mean? Like Ryan Garcia for this fight. But when it came to getting in the ring, he put on a beating. I'm not going to lie. Devin Haney, shout out to Devin Haney, but that left hook, bro, you trained for it. You knew what was coming. And I ain't going to lie. Yeah, Ryan Garcia put hands and feet on you that night, bro, and he was clowning. You see him. He was in his bag. And I think the money line that night was like plus 260. So if you put $100 on Ryan Garcia that night plus 260, you put 1,000, 2,600, and he was letting this look personal when he was in the ring with Devin. I ain't gonna lie. He was getting busy. Again, I love Ryan Garcia so much as a fighter. I hope everything that happened with that PED use was, he said he took a substance he didn't know. I hope that's the case, bro, because boxing is a sport where, shots like that, you can really put somebody's life in jeopardy. And, I just hope that, for the sport of boxing and for him, because that's one of my favorite fighters, that all of that was allegedly, and he already served his suspension. Time is up. So we're moving on. We want to see the rematch. We moving on. In the face-off between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, and Turki Al-Sheikh is looking like he is going to make this happen. As we know, He is putting all the fights together that all of us fans want to see. We just seen Canelo and Bud Crawford, and now we're going to see the rematch between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. And I'm not going to lie, this is going to be a rematch like Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson. This is going to be the one that we're all waiting on, the ones that we want to see, because these dudes got history. You know, they've been battling with each other since the amateurs, since youngsters, you know what I mean? Since they was 8, 9 years old, they've been going at it. And this was one for the age. This is a really entertaining event. And like I said again, Devin Haney got some redemption to do, and Ryan Garcia, for right now, he holds that over Devin Haney because, boy, oh boy, he put the beats on him in that ring. I ain't even gonna lie. So, yeah, the anticipation for this fight, hopefully we can get it in Las Vegas, because we seen everything from the media, you know, everything they were doing from their face-offs. It was just a lot of animosity, a lot of tension. You know, Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney were showing that, hey, they might really not like each other due to this, you know, especially with Bill Haney and Ryan Garcia's father as well, with Oscar De La Hoya, you know, the two promotional companies. Man, this was more heated than Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis, for sure. You know, the Haney family and Garcia family, every time they met up, it seemed like Devin and Ryan couldn't keep their hands off each other, bruh. They was face-to-face, nose-to-nose, intense. I'm talking about everything from the amateurs. It was a split 3-3 leading up to this fight. So just imagine how the next fight's going to be when they finally decide and Turki Al-Sheikh is able to put this together, and it's going to be a pay-per-view sellout. Hopefully they just go ahead and do it on Netflix so all of us can watch and enjoy like the one they just did. I really enjoy when they put it on Netflix, because you ain't got to worry about where to go to watch the fight, how you're going to watch the fight. You can watch it. So, you know, subscribe to Netflix, $9.99 a month, and go ahead and get this superstar fight on your screen, because this is going to be one that's entertaining. And that's the thing about Ryan Garcia. He entertained us this whole time going up with Devin Haney. Devin Haney started looking at Ryan Garcia like, hey, what is up with this dude, bro? Is he cool? Because we seem like this, moments like this, Ryan Garcia was letting it be known he's about to beat the sleeves off of Devin. He was saying, he was like, you ain't like that. You ain't like that. All you got is a jab. And Devin Haney was telling him, well, all you got is a left hook. Well, it seemed like you couldn't block that left hook, because he connected with you a good, clean, you know, couple of times. And this was one of those moments that really was funny to me, when they were supposed to have a serious interview and Ryan Garcia was over here just doing this, and Devin Haney was like, I don't think Ryan Garcia is taking this fight seriously. But, you know, that was Ryan Garcia's moment. After he beat Devin Haney, he was already a superstar, but this pushed him to superstar level. He started making rap songs. He started doing rap concerts. He was on tour. Ryan Garcia was in his bag in 2024. And it was just, you know, when somebody has that moment that pushes them into their full glory, like his prime of his career, I felt like that win over Devin Haney, it went global. If he already had a huge fan base, especially on social media, but this pushed him into, you know, superstar status. But with that, he served his 1-year suspension, and he came back with a fight against Roley Romero. We already know Roley Romero. He loves to run his mouth. He talks a lot, and he's a swinger. He's a slugger. So watching these two fight, I was already looking forward to it. Like, okay, because they both got knocked out by Tank Davis, Tank Davis won by TKO. So I knew with Ryan Garcia having the reach and him having the hand speed, the elite hand speed, and what he just did to Devin Haney, I thought he was going to put easy work on Roley Romero. Roley Romero is a power slugger, but his boxing IQ isn't as high as I think. I really expected Ryan Garcia to whoop him in this round, but I ain't going to lie. Roley Romero came out with 2 left hooks and dropped Ryan Garcia. And Devin Haney, you know, he had to get his get back. He was in the crowd watching. But I got to speak to this. This speaks to, was that ferocity in that left hook because of the PEDs, allegedly? Because you should have whooped Roley Romero, bro. No cap. Like, just following their careers, how the experience alone with Ryan Garcia, he's been fighting in the Olympics and as an amateur as 890. There's no reason he should have lost like this to Roley Romero, bro. Like, you know, so that's what I'm saying for him as a fan. You know, we got to really see you come back and establish what you did to Devin Haney, because Devin Haney is a unanimous, undisputed boxer, and you cleaned him up. So we would have expected you to clean up Roley Romero the same way, but you didn't. So, you know, you left questions with people saying, was it because you was turned up off of whatever substances you was on and how you was able to dominate like that? Because you came back and got knocked out by Roley Romero, bro, and you one of my favorite fighters. I was like, he about to put hands and feet on Roley Romero. But again, that's behind us in the past. And Ryan Garcia, As you can see, he's back to training, bro, and that elite hand speed that I fell in love with. I'm not talking about everybody else. This is something me and my boy David talk about all the time. Like, Ryan Garcia has elite hand speed, bro, hand-eye coordination, something that's a beauty to see, something that I love. And he's been going through a lot of stuff outside, you know, with his divorce and things that's going on with his family. And, you know, he was seeking counseling and he was making some crazy remarks that I don't even want to speak on because, you know, I was like, dang, Ryan, I didn't know you was talking like that. He was talking crazy, bro. If you know, you know. The stuff that he said was out of pocket, bro. I can't even condone that. But at the same time, everybody has a redemption story. I'm still a fan of Ryan Garcia because of stuff like this. This is what I seen him. I watched his journey, and everybody goes through something. You know, Gervonta Tank Davis is going through his stuff right now. You know, he just got arrested. You know what I mean? Allegedly. I always say allegedly on my channel because I don't need nobody coming for me, but. You know, boxers go through a lot. You know, they're in the media. They're in the spotlight. They're superstars. So, but as you can see, Ryan Garcia is on his redemption jersey, and all roads lead to that rematch versus Devin Haney. And I'm ready, baby. I'm ready. I can't wait because what we seen, what Ryan Garcia did that night, and how he put on a show, bro. Not only did he do it in the ring, he kept us entertained out the ring. Ryan Garcia is a super funny dude, bro. Like, and he did, you know. That's his boxing has been his whole life. So for what I want for Ryan Garcia is for him to get back to putting boxing first, you know, being able to persevere everything he's going through outside of the ring because he's special and he still has his whole career ahead of him and he could make a lot of money, bro, because he has the fan base, me included. If Ryan Garcia is fighting, we're going to watch. You know what I mean? That's straight up. And, you know, because he liked that. You know, he's one of them fight. He's one of the four kings. He's already fought Gervonta Tank Davis. He's already fought Devin Haney. Next is Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson. But I just feel like with Ryan Garcia's body weight, he's a little taller and bigger than the rest of them. So him staying at 135 or 147, I don't see that. I think for Ryan, after that, I think he needs to move up to 154. He's already been talking about 154. Because I'm not pretty sure what his walk-around weight is. I'm pretty sure, you know, we seen him against Tank Davis with that hydration clause, him coming down to 135. He looked like a whole totally different fighter than when he fought Devin Haney. Like, he was so dehydrated. It was crazy. Like, that 135, I don't want to see Ryan Garcia at 135 because I don't believe that's the best version of himself. He was too weight drained. Now, Ryan Garcia started boxing at the age of 7. You know, and he grew up in Victorville, California. You know, he turned professional at 17 years old, and he had dreams of representing the United States in the 2016 Olympics. He became a 15-time national amateur champion and amassed an amateur record of 215 wins and 15 losses. Now, he trained with the likes of Canelo Alvarez, and in 2016, he signed with Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions. And as you already know, his career took off from there. In October 2018, Garcia started training with Eddie Reynoso and also trained with Canelo Alvarez and Oscar Valdez in their gym in San Diego, California. And in September 2019, he decided to extend his contract for 5 years with Golden Boy Promotions. Now, you know, Ryan Garcia has a professional record of 27 fights and 2 losses. 24 of them coming, 20 coming by TKO, and he has that one no contest right now. That is with Devin Haney. In 2013, he became a national PAL champion at bantamweight. 2014, a featherweight, and junior national championships in 2014. He was a featherweight champion, junior Olympic national champion in 2014 at featherweight, and youth national championships in 2016 at lightweight. You know what I mean? So Ryan Garcia has been doing this for a minute. You know what I mean? This isn't something that you can just talk about like he's just one of these regular people. You know, he's one of them, and he has future boxing written all over him, and he's a superstar, and we're all rooting for Ryan Garcia. You know what I mean? Despite everything that's happening off of the outside of the ring, that part doesn't matter because he's already fought the likes of, you know, Campbell. He's fought, you know, Tago, Fortuna. He's fought Gervonta Tank Davis, Duarte, you know, Devin Haney, Romero. You know, I can see him fighting Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, Jerome Boots Ennis. You know what I mean? Like, this is what Ryan Garcia does, especially with pay-per-views. You know what I mean? Ryan Garcia sells out pay-per-views, you know, that's what he does. When he fought Gervonta Tank Davis in April 22nd of 2023, they put on a show, the man for Showtime Boxing, over $100 million in revenue. You know, so Ryan Garcia is a moneymaker, bro. He's a premier. He has a swag. You know, he has the charisma. You know, he has the look. You know what I mean? You know, and he has a flair and he's a jokester. You see when he said, give me that rematch. We want to see that rematch between Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis too, with no rehydration clause. Yeah, that's for you, Tank. No rehydration clause. I get what Tank's saying. He's like, Ryan Garcia's natural walk around weight is probably closer to like 165. You know what I mean? 170. He is 5'10", and I think Gervonta Tank Davis is like 5'5". Probably walks around at like 145, maybe 150 pounds on a good day. You know what I mean? So this was him with Iron Mike Tyson right now. He already told Mike he was gonna knock Devin Haney out, and that's exactly what he did. And I'm just looking forward for that rematch because, you know, that fight was on the Zone Network, but I think with Turkey Al-Sheikh, they're going to put it on Netflix. You know what I mean? And this could be a superstar sellout. You know what I mean? Drop your comments about Ryan Garcia, how you feel. How do you feel about his professional career? How do you feel about what happened with him in the Devin Haney fight? You know what I mean? What do you feel about the rematches? Do you feel like he should, fight Gervonta Tank Davis, Teofimo Lopez? Let me know something. Like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate all the love and support. And you know how we do, as always. Say no more.